There are
Whakataka taho ki te uru. E kina. Taratara. Aka ana. Io he hu. Iho hu.
Thanks very much, Chris. I do want to I do want us to sorry. I want to make sure that we're all clear on the order of events, given we had last minute changes once again. And I have to say, Chris, I am extremely disappointed because for the third month in a row, these matters have been before council and we either get papers changed at last minute, we get papers that come through that don't have the supporting narrative around them. They don't meet the needs of counselors in terms of making sure that they're across the issues and have time to absorb the information. Last minute changes to things do not serve the decision-making process for this council and for this region. And I am extremely disappointed that once again, there were issues with the papers that were put to counselors. So I just wanted to start out with my disappointment. I've spoken with a few other counselors and I know that I am not alone in this view. So sorry to start on a negative tone.
But, Madam Chair, if I could just respond to that, I'll just accept the responsibility for that and acknowledge it. Clearly, councillors have wanted some of the information a little bit more advance of that's been proposed on council meetings. I accept that. I accept the fact that the council wanted a workshop before they get to make a decision. And I accept that for this workshop today that some of the papers that was pointed out, and thank you to Hughes and Councillor Marr, that some of the papers that have been bundled together didn't meet the test of being public excluded, and that's why we took the step yesterday to acknowledge it and separate them. So do apologise for that. It was certainly the right thing to do. But you know, the point of this workshop is so councillors can ask questions. If there's anything that they haven't had time to understand with the unbundling yesterday, there's still an opportunity to ask questions around any of that, because there aren't any decisions being made today. But I do just want to acknowledge what you've said.
Thank you for that. So just so everybody knows, in the chambers we've got myself, Councillor Dunbar Smith, Strange, Smith, Downard, Marr, Hughes, and Cookson. And online we have Councillor Clarkson, Graff, Hodge. Anyone else? Have I missed anyone online? All right. So with that, do we want to walk through the order of events just so everybody knows before we?
I think that would be a really good idea. Just everyone's on the same page about what's going to happen. When Marley, do you want to just take us through what you think is the best way of ordering this?
Sure. Thank you, Chris. Ordina councillors. Is the sound working? Okay, cool. Brooke, can we just go to the next slide? Because I have prepared an overview of the plan for today. So before we do visit what we've got planned for today, I just want to reiterate the comments that have already been made by Chris by apologising for the material that had been circulated on Thursday, not including the full legal opinion from Tompkins Wake. And we've got Kate Hatwell here with us today, who has provided the legal advice to council. It's really useful to have her here to be able to cover off any questions that you might have of a legal nature. We're going to start with a kōrero on the Te Arawa River Iwi Trust Joint Management Agreement Review process in a public excluded session. The reason we are going into public excluded specifically for that topic is because the legal advice that we have recently received hasn't been considered or shared with councillors. And so this is the opportunity for you to consider that legal advice and also consider releasing that information into public excluded after you've had the discussion. Yes, so that's an option. Once we've completed kōrero in the public excluded session, we can then pick up the topic of Waikato Tainui agreements. There's no need for that discussion to occur in a public excluded session because the information has previously been discussed in an open session. We're going to have a brief break for morning tea after those two topics and come back to cover off progress on where we're at with the Tēnehene Nui Joint Management Agreement schedules and the Mana Whakahono Arohe kaupapa as well. We have Paul Beverley lined up to join us for that discussion. He'll attend online. He is providing legal advice on these two topics. We have him until 11:30 and then he's got to duck off to another commitment, so we'll prioritise our time with him. We will then pick up a conversation on the Co-Governance Committee minutes, and then you'll have a lunch break. You'll need it by then. After the lunch break, we'll hand over to Karen Bennett, who is going to pick up a conversation with you on the strategic direction. So that's the proposal for the day. If everybody is comfortable with that approach, then we'll dive into the first topic.
Ma'am, I have an email requesting my attendance at a meeting in September out at Mariah Kawhia. Has that got to do with all this? Because I see it's for me, Pamela, someone else, and I don't even represent that rohi. So I'd like to understand if it's to do with this, why it's me and why it's not others that I think are more representative of the whole thing. So is that tied up with signing some agreement?
Let me answer that for you. The invitation is to attend the initial hui with Ngāti Mahuta regarding the initiation of a Mana Whakahono Arohe agreement. They are on the West Coast. It is within your constituency. Yeah. Pamela, as the chairperson, has always also been invited, as has Councillor Mahuta, but all councillors are welcome to attend and have that hui within your calendars. So that's what that is
so
about.
I appreciate that Ngāti Mahuta is within Waikato district area, but it's being held at one of them. Kawhia. Right?
Taharua.
Sorry, yes, Tahara, yes. Okay, no, that clarifies that. Thank you.
All right, with that, yep, Ben?
Oh, I just wanted to say that I think this whole process of JMA review seems to be back to front, because I note that in October 2024, co-governance committees signed off on the amendments. And it seems strange that it takes this long to come through to a process for us. And I wonder whether we can't do them better in future. It seems ridiculous that 2 or 3 people sign off on these things, then they go for legal review, then they go backwards and forwards to the co-governance committees rather than coming to council. We have legitimate concerns that get addressed at the last minute in a poor fashion. Yeah.
I'm sure that's noted. I'm sure that's noted. Sorry? Yeah, yep, I
I will respond. Feedback noted, we will be undertaking reviews at future points, not just for the agreements that we're talking about today, but other agreements that will come up for review. Lessons learned from this process, and we will take those lessons learned into future processes. But I'd also note that our co-governance hui that are have been used to have the discussion and develop up proposed amendments are open to all councillors. Councillors are welcome to participate in those discussions. And we have had council workshops to bring the wider council up to speed with where things are heading. Yes, room for improvement, and we will seek to improve processes going forward.
I just wanted to say, staff are under pressure under this. I realise some of the iwi are pushing this because of potential RMA changes. There's been a rush, these things coming through. So that's not.
Jennifer.
Good morning, all. No, I think Marley gave a really good answer there. I have really enjoyed being part of the process. I wasn't part of it last time. Definitely opportunities here and there for improvement, but at the end of the day, the issue seems to be, and Ben, this is something you've said, that there is a lack of trust from yourself to the members of the committee to do this well, and that is why we have committees. And I want to remind members about, who had the upper hand when these committees were formed and who chose, to a large degree to put people on them. So if you chose not to engage in the process earlier, I just don't appreciate the pushing back, on and saying that it's the process's fault. There are opportunities throughout the time. That's all. And I think that the reviews have been done really quite well. It's just that it's unfortunate that not all the information is always together in the way that we wanted it in the last few sessions.
Yeah, I don't think that the information in the last 3 months has been at all up to par. I don't think that it has served, as I've clearly stated already. So, okay, with that, I think we'll go into the public excluded part of the workshop. So we'll